and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a lawyer, consultant, writer, trainer, and a coach, no other than Mr. Larry Easto.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm fabulous, fabulous, Mr. Larry. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure. I have been a lawyer, I have been a consultant, I have been a
Yes.
coach, and I've also been a writer. Right now, the main thing is writing, and that's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about books.
Let's talk about books, people. Books, books, books. So, Mr. Larry, starting fresh, a travel guide for your new journey of transformation. Can you tell us about this?
Oh, okay. Basically, what I've done, a couple years ago, I started writing a book called How to Succeed in Your Professional Service Business, and it went really well. Got the book done, but turned out that I was actually writing two books, and just broke it into two books. I thought, no, I don't really want to market two books. Let's see what else we can do. So I converted content from one book into a video training course called Your Transformation Connections. So the book helps service professionals succeed in their small business, and the training course helps anybody who wants to make a transformation from where they are get to where they want to be as painlessly as possible. It's not easy, but as painlessly as possible. Drawing on my own experience and on experience of lots of other folks. So instead of telling people what to do, I help them figure out how to do it on their own.
Mr. Larry, what psychological shifts are essential in that liminal space before fully committing to a fresh start, and how do cultivate courage there?
I'm sorry, I didn't grab all that. You want to try it again?
Yes, what psychological shifts are essential in the liminal space before fully
Okay,
committing a fresh start?
got it.
Just-
Okay,
just- yes.
it has to be an open mindset. Growth is a it's a change process. We have to make changes in all sorts of aspects of our life. Unfortunately, a lot of people really don't want to change. They're either afraid of change or they don't know how, or many people don't even know what they want. So, and I can understand that because I've made a lot of decisions in my life based not so much on what I wanted, but hey, it seemed good at the time, so I'll go with it. So it's a process of knowing what you want to do, what you really want to do, and taking the inspired action to get there. But again, lots of people would rather stay in a stuck position and complain than do anything positive. That's their problem.
Yes, people, stop complaining. Count your blessings. Indeed. And Mr. Larry, beyond physical possessions, what types of emotional or mental baggage are most crucial to consciously leave behind for a successful fresh start?
Well, we as children we were told do this,
Do
don't do
that.
that, don't do the other
Yes.
thing, do what I tell you, and we kind of got used to doing what people told us, and so it's hard to move away from that. Many people in corporate jobs are doing what somebody tells them to do rather than what they really want to do. So it takes some confidence, some self-confidence, some courage, some faith, all of those characteristics rather than just blindly following instructions. So it's a philosophical thing. It's a spiritual thing. We have to have a good handle on who we are as people, not just working machines. So it's a case of really saying, who am I? What do I want to do? And what's the best use of my gifts? And that's not always an easy process, but many of us work through it.
Totally agree with you, Mr. Larry. And if someone could only pack three non negotiable inner resources, what that would be, or for this journey?
Only three resources? Hmm.
Yes, like
One would be
self
an open mind.
compassion, yes, curiosity, or
Yeah, okay.
resilience.
Uh, okay, I think faith would be one, um, courage would be one, and patience. We need the faith, we need the confidence, we need the courage, but we also need patience. Things don't happen instantly. It takes good things are worth waiting for, and that's certainly true of changes as well. We seem to have stalled.
Hello, can you hear me now, Mr.
I
Larry?
can hear you now. Yep.
Sorry. As a lawyer, this is my question. As a lawyer and an author, what are your short term and long term goals?
What are I didn't get the last part of the question.
As a lawyer, consultant, writer, and trainer and coach, what are your short term and long term goals?
Oh well, hey, at this stage of my life, it's more short term than long term. I'm what I'm doing is the book and the course are what I'm calling my legacy project, and the point of that is to pull together as many life lessons learned as possible and share them with others. And within a year, 18 months, I'm going to wrap everything up, and I'm not going to retire because that's a word that scares me. But I'm going to do different things. I think I want to be a potter. I think I want to throw clay and get my hands dirty and use my hands and not my head. So you're talking to somebody at the tag end of a career rather than early point or midpoint.
Hmm, indeed. And what would your piece of advice for those people out there want to be like you? A lawyer, a consultant, a writer, a trainer, and a coach?
What would my advice be to somebody like that?
Yes, for our
Um,
younger generation.
younger generation. Gosh, I think it'd be the same advice you give anybody in any circumstances. Really know who you are. The old expression, "Know thyself, and to thine own self be true." Really spend some time knowing who you are, what motivates you, what's important to you, and take whatever action is necessary to achieve that. I was a lawyer by default. I didn't know what else I wanted to do, so I did that. I was a consultant by default because when I left law, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so consultant seemed to be a pretty good gig. I wound up writing a book, and that's what I finally found out what I wanted to do. Was midway through my life, I found out I loved writing, and so from there, everything else took off. So on one hand, I needed all of those experience to have a bunch of life experience in order to write, but yeah, so it wasn't wasted time. The flip side is if I'd started writing earlier, I would have been better and done more books. So it's a soft, it's a balance. But I think the bottom line is we really have to know who we are and what we're all about. What are my gifts? How can I use my gifts that delivers the most value to the most people?
Yes, indeed. And good luck to your goals as well as thank you for your advice, Mr. Larry. And can you recommend a book that influenced your journey?
Sure, that's easy. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, an amazing book. Anybody that wants to shake hands with success should have that book.
Indeed, people, highly recommended. How do we manage comparing our messy in progress journey to others? Curated highlight reels, like in the social media.
Um, I don't think it's helpful to compare ourselves to anybody else because each of us has our unique combination of skills, experience, resources. So just because I can do something doesn't mean somebody else can do what I did and do it as well. So I think we really have to do what's right for us. When we start comparing ourselves to somebody else, we're always going to come up short because somebody else is always going to have something we don't, and we're going to beat ourselves up for it. But instead of going that route, it's better to really build on what we're good at. So if we're good at writing, don't become a singer. If we're, if you're good at playing the piano, don't drill holes in concrete.
And be a
It's,
lawyer.
yeah. So there you are. Don't be a lawyer either.
Mr. Larry, when and how should someone seek mentors, therapies, or coaches as a local guide rather than trying to navigate completely alone?
When I think it's a good idea to have an independent person from the get go, someone who an accountability partner or a friend, a confidant, a soulmate, somebody outside your head, outside our heads. When we get sometimes we get thinking about something, it's our thoughts occupy everything, and the longer we think about them, the more the harder it is to change them, whereas somebody had with fresh eyes. So I would think as soon as possible. I've had some really good mentors, and there have been periods of time that I've struggled on my own, and I'd much rather have a mentor than struggle on my own. So as soon as possible. In some families, an older brother or father can do that. Other families aren't that lucky, have to find friends, colleagues. And I didn't get much direction from my family, but my friends were amazing. So to identify where you need some help, and ask for it. You don't ask, you don't get.
How can travelers shift from seeking a fixed destination to recognizing a transformation as an ongoing journey, celebrating milestones along the way?
Wow. Well, in some respects, we are constantly changing. Life is changing. Physically, we're changing. Our body cells are dying and changing. So life is about change,
Yes.
and so any change comes rich with new opportunities. I mean, even COVID was a horrible thing, but look at some of the benefits that have come from there. So we have to be prepared to accept that A, things are going to change, and B, how can I find something good, or how can I find something positive in this change? So it goes back to mindset. We can have the victim mindset saying, oh, the world hates me, it's down to drag me down. Or we can have a positive mindset saying, hey, what can the world do to help me today? And I found that positive works a lot better than negative.
Mr. Laurie, how does healthy integration look like after a period of intense transformation? How do you unpack and meaningfully incorporate the lessons learned?
Wow, that's a biggie. One at a time. One at a time. It's like how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so many people have big ambitious goals and try to do everything at the same time, everything at once. It just doesn't work that way. You got to take it one step at a time. And invariably, things, as we take action, things get clearer and easier. So instead of trying everything at once, break it into one thing, one thing, one thing. And sooner or later, your one things are going to be one big thing. Your one Sooner or later, enough little one things are going to be one big thing.
One big thing, too. Mr. Larry, are you a podcast host too?
I'm sorry.
Are you a podcast too? Do you have a podcast?
No, no, no.
Are you planning to have one?
I might. Is this an offer, or you want me to? No, I don't think so. I don't think I love it. I really enjoy being a guest, but I don't think I want to. Maybe 10 years ago I might have, but not at this stage in my life.
Not this moment. So, how does the process of navigating a fresh start fundamentally change a person's identity, often in unexpected ways?
Well, that's an interesting question. It's exactly what happens when people who've had a long time job retire. For years they defined themselves by their job, and once the job's gone, who are they? What
Mm,
are they all about? So when I was practicing law, I liked having clients say to me, "Gee, Larry, you don't act like a lawyer." And I go, "Oh, what am I doing wrong? What should I be doing to be acting like a lawyer?" So then we would talk about it, and I would help them understand that I'm basically a human being, and they were seeing me as a lawyer. So I was trying to help them with legal situations. If they were to see me a few hours later, they might have saw me skiing or curling or out with my dog or cutting the grass. So we all do different roles. But at that time, I was a lawyer. So it didn't mean that I was a lawyer 24/7. And I think that we have to really, as I said earlier, really know who we are and get to like ourselves and get to know ourselves and get to enjoy ourselves rather than constantly shifting roles. We do different work, but we're basically the same people doing different work. As I explain to my clients that when I'm golfing, I'm not a lawyer. When I'm practicing law, I'm not a golfer. So it depends on where we are. I guess I could do both, but no, I couldn't do both. That's silly. But it just it's a case of knowing who we are, knowing what we're good at, and stick to what we're good at.
For those transforming within existing life, how do they navigate returning to a familiar places, people as changed person?
Sometimes you can't. You can't go. Sometimes you can't go back, and I know what that's about because I've kind of grown away from my family and don't see them anymore. It's just a case of letting go of things that are no longer serving. It doesn't mean you have to be rude and disrespectful, but if relationships aren't working for either side anymore, it's time to let go of them. It's like used clothes that don't serve their purpose anymore. It's time to let go of them. And letting go of something makes room for something. Makes letting go of something old makes room for something new. When you move location, you let go of old friends and make new friends. It's a natural part of growth, a natural part of living. So it's not always easy. It's not always fun, but with a little bit of effort, it can be a positive experience.
Indeed, let it go, people. Let it go. What enduring skills or perspectives does successfully navigating a fresh start impart that benefit and future chapters of life?
Well, what it, among other things, you've with a fresh start, you've learned what doesn't work, so you don't have to do it again. You don't have to try things again that didn't work the first time around. So you're crossing things off the possibility list. It shortens it, and also, experience is a great teacher. So we learn so much from experience, and it's a case of pausing and saying, what went right there? How can I repeat that? What went wrong there? And how do I avoid that? So it's a case of really learning, taking whatever lessons we can from experience and building them into our future.
Indeed, people for our future. What small symbolic first steps can create immediate momentum and build confidence when the bigger path feels overwhelming?
Um, I think create some space for yourself. Sometimes we get so involved in activity that we don't work or we don't think we aren't as effective as we might. So the first steps would be to maybe do some meditating or sit outside, talk to the trees or talk to the squirrels. I know that sounds really crazy, but it's all about slowing down and letting your brain take a rest and come up with some fresh ideas. We get a lot of us get great ideas in the shower. That's because we're relaxed. Or when we're going for a walk, we get great ideas there. So it's a case of instead of pushing harder, maybe it's time to back off and relax a little bit and let the ideas come to us rather than chasing them.
Yes, people relax and let it go. Let's live at the moment. And Mr. Larry, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my Abstract Essays are already in fifth season, Abstract Poetry in second season, and of course my Book 101 review in fifth season, Comedy 101 in second season, Food 101 in its fifth season too, Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast, Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in third season, Movie 101 review, and Music 101 in its fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Mr. Larry, if you could send one piece of essential advice back to yourself at the very beginning of your own significant fresh start, what would it be?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. That's the smallest, well, word sentence, but yes, you can, people. Believe it within yourself and be positive always. Right, Mr. Larry? Definitely. So, Mr. Larry, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world as well as your recommended books. Hoping that you will come back and let's talk about the books that you will publish or books that you already publish. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy as well as your business or your upcoming books?
Okay, there's two main places to learn more or get more, get the free, well, not free books. Yeah, LinkedIn and my website. LinkedIn, I've got a strong presence there, and my website, there are two free books at the bottom of the homepage. Just go there, grab them, and enjoy.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Larry Easto because if you support him, more and more and more empowering books to come. So, Mr. Larry, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.